There comes a time in life when the lights go out, when the sunshine that once warmed your heart is suddenly hidden behind clouds of confusion, pain, and disappointment. When the friends who used to cheer you on have grown silent and the road ahead looks uncertain. That's what I call a dark season. But hear me when I tell you, darkness does not mean defeat. You may be walking through the valley right now, but baby, keep walking. Don't you stop in the middle of your struggle. Don't you pitch a tent in your pain. When life gets dark, you've got to keep moving forward, because it's in the dark that God does his best work. Seeds grow in the dark. Diamonds form in the dark. Even the womb where life begins is dark. So don't curse your darkness. Let it push you toward your destiny. Darkness is not the end. It's the beginning of transformation. When life gets dark, our first instinct is to panic, to assume that something has gone wrong, that we've missed a step or made a mistake. But what if darkness isn't punishment? What if it's preparation? What if the very season you're trying to escape is the one that's meant to evolve you into who you're supposed to become? Every meaningful transformation in life begins in darkness. The seed doesn't grow in the sunlight, it grows in the soil, hidden, buried, pressed down under dirt that feels cold, heavy, and suffocating. But in that buried place, something powerful is happening. The seed is breaking open. Its shell is cracking, its identity is shifting, and its potential is awakening. The breaking is uncomfortable, but it's necessary. The darkness of the soil isn't the end of the seed. It's the birthplace of growth. The same principle applies to your life. When everything around you feels uncertain, when your prayers seem unanswered, when doors close and friends fade, it's easy to believe you've been buried. But maybe, just maybe, you've been planted. The difference between being buried and being planted is purpose. Burial ends something. Planting begins something. The soil looks the same, but the intention behind it changes everything. Think about it. Every sunrise begins in darkness. Every new day starts in the quiet, hidden space before the light breaks. Even creation itself began in darkness, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. Before there was order, there was chaos. Before there was light, there was shadow. Darkness is not a sign of absence. It's a signal that creation is in progress. God does his best work in the dark because it's in the dark that we learn to trust what we cannot see. When you can't trace the plan, you learn to trust the process. When the path isn't visible, you learn to listen to the voice within. It's in those moments of uncertainty that your faith, your resilience, and your identity are forged. You learn who you are, not because everything is easy, but because you refuse to quit when everything is hard. The light reveals your gifts, but the dark reveals your strength. So don't despise your dark seasons. Don't rush through them. Don't let the weight of the moment make you forget the promise of the process. Just because you can't see the light doesn't mean it's not coming. Seeds don't sprout overnight. Caterpillars don't become butterflies without the cocoon. Diamonds don't form without pressure. The darkness you're in may feel like the end, but it's really the womb of something new. Keep believing, keep pushing, keep moving forward, because the same God who allowed the darkness is the one who will call forth the light. And when that light finally breaks through, you'll see that what tried to bury you actually built you. Darkness didn't destroy you, it developed you. Pain is a passage, not a prison. Too often when pain enters our lives, we see it as something that traps us, something that stops our progress or signals that we've failed. We associate pain with punishment as if it's proof that we're on the wrong path. But pain is not your enemy, it's your teacher. It's a passageway that leads you from who you were to who you're meant to become. And though it hurts, though it breaks you open, it also builds you in ways comfort never could. When you look back over your life, you'll notice that your greatest growth didn't come from easy days. It came from seasons that stretched you, from moments that tested your limits and forced you to dig deeper than you ever thought possible. Pain has a way of revealing what's inside of you. It strips away the unnecessary, the shallow, the temporary. It exposes your faith, your endurance, and your character. You don't really know how strong you are until life presses you hard enough to find out. We often want the promise without the process, but every promise comes with pressure. Every dream you're called to fulfill requires a version of you that pain helps create. Think about the butterfly. Before it ever spreads its wings, it struggles inside the cocoon. That struggle is painful, but it's necessary. Without that resistance, the butterfly's wings wouldn't be strong enough to fly. If someone were to cut open the cocoon and free it early, it would die. Not because it wasn't meant to fly, but because it wasn't developed through the process. Pain is the pressure that strengthens your wings. When you're in pain, it's easy to want to run, to numb it, to escape it. But what if you stopped trying to escape and started trying to understand? Pain always carries a message. It tells you where something needs healing, where something needs to change, or where you've outgrown a space you've been staying in too long. Pain doesn't show up to punish you. It shows up to promote you. It's the signal that you're transitioning from one stage of life to another. Even in Scripture and in nature, transformation always travels through pain. Birth requires labor. Growth requires stretching. Healing requires breaking before mending. You can't bypass it. You can only endure it with purpose. That's why people who've been through real pain often carry real wisdom. They've been through the fire and come out refined, not destroyed. They understand that the valley isn't forever, and that even the deepest wound can produce strength if you don't give up. So the next time you find yourself in pain, don't build a house there. Don't let your mind make a home in misery. Keep walking. Keep believing that the pain you're feeling is not your destination. It's your doorway. You are passing through something that's meant to change you, not chain you. And when you come out on the other side, you'll see that what once felt like your breaking point was actually your breakthrough in disguise. Pain didn't confine you. It carried you to purpose. Faith is forged in the fire of uncertainty. It's easy to believe when everything makes sense, when the path is clear and the pieces fall neatly into place. But real faith doesn't grow in comfort. It grows in confusion. It's in those moments when you can't see your way forward, when the answers don't come and when nothing is working the way you thought it would, that faith begins to form its roots. Faith is not born from knowing, it's born from trusting. When life gets uncertain, our instinct is to take control, to fix what's broken, to plan every step so we can feel safe. But faith asks you to do something different. To release the need for control and to trust the one who sees what you can't. It's a fire because it burns away the illusions of certainty and the comfort of predictability. It refines you, reshapes you, and reveals what you truly believe. The fire of uncertainty doesn't come to destroy you. It comes to develop your dependence on something greater than yourself. Think about gold. It's refined in fire. The heat exposes impurities and brings them to the surface so they can be removed. The same is true of your faith. When you go through the fire of uncertainty, everything superficial gets stripped away. Your ego, your pride, your reliance on circumstances, all of it melts down until what's left is pure trust. That's when faith becomes real. Not the kind of faith that lives on your lips, but the kind that's written in your heart. Uncertainty forces you to live one step at a time. You may not know what's coming next week or even tomorrow, but faith whispers, just take the next step. That's all you need. You don't have to see the whole staircase to climb it. You just have to believe that the next step will appear when it's time. The unknown can be frightening, but it's also sacred because that's where God meets you. He doesn't always give you the map, but he promises to guide your movement. Every great story of transformation has moments of uncertainty. Abraham didn't know where he was going, but he went. Moses didn't know how the sea would part, but he stepped forward. David didn't know how a stone would take down a giant, but he aimed anyway. Their faith was not built in comfort, it was built in questions. And the same is true for you. So when you find yourself standing in the fog of uncertainty, don't let fear convince you that you're lost. You're not lost. You're being led. The fire you feel right now is shaping a faith that can stand the test of time. When the smoke clears, you'll realize that uncertainty didn't weaken your belief, it strengthened it. You'll see that the very fire you thought would consume you has actually refined you into someone stronger, steadier, and more sure than you've ever been. Faith is not proven in the light, it's forged in the fire. Movement breaks the grip of fear. Fear thrives in stillness. It feeds on hesitation, on the moments when you freeze instead of move, when you let your doubts grow louder than your determination. The longer you stay still, the stronger fear becomes. But the moment you take a step, even a small one, something shifts. The hold fear had on your mind begins to loosen, because fear cannot survive in motion. Movement reminds fear that it doesn't get the final say. Many people wait until they feel ready before they act. But the truth is, readiness rarely comes before movement. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the decision to move forward in spite of it. You'll never wake up one day completely free from doubt or anxiety. What you will have is a choice to stay stuck in the same place or to move even while you're trembling. Progress doesn't require perfection. It only requires persistence. Every step you take is a declaration that fear does not own you. Think of fear as fog, thick, heavy, blinding. When you stand still, the fog feels endless. But when you start walking step by step, the path begins to clear. You start to see that the fear was never as big as it looked from a distance. Motion creates clarity. The act of doing, of moving, teaches you things that thinking alone never will. You learn that you're capable, that you're resilient, that the storm you feared isn't as powerful as the strength within you. Sometimes the reason fear feels so strong is because we give it too much space. We sit in our minds replaying every what if, every possibility of failure, until fear grows into a monster of our own making. But when you move, you interrupt that pattern. You give your energy a new direction. Even a single step forward is a victory, because it shifts your focus from what could go wrong to what can go right. Movement doesn't mean running aimlessly, it means choosing progress over paralysis. In every dark season, fear whispers that it's safer to stay where you are. But stillness in the wrong place is not safety. It's slow surrender. The greatest breakthroughs come to those who move while it's still dark, who trust that each step will bring them closer to the light, even if the way isn't clear, even if you don't have all the answers. Movement keeps your hope alive. It tells your soul we're not done yet. So when fear tries to grip you, move. Pray while you move. Cry while you move. Crawl if you must, but move. Because motion is faith in action. It's the physical expression of belief that something better lies ahead. Fear will always try to hold you, but it cannot chase you forever. The moment you move, you remind yourself and the world that no matter how dark it gets, you are still going forward. And in that forward motion, you'll find your freedom. Your breakthrough often hides behind your darkest moment. It's strange how life works. Just when it feels like everything is falling apart, that's often when something new is being built. The darkest moments are never wasted. They are the final stretch before transformation. But because pain feels so loud, it can be hard to recognize that what looks like the end is really the beginning of something greater. Breakthrough doesn't announce itself with a trumpet. It hides behind struggle, waiting to be discovered by those who refuse to give up. When life gets dark, it's natural to want to quit. You feel exhausted, drained, and unsure if any of your effort even matters. But what you don't see is that darkness is often the indicator that you are closer than you think. Right before dawn, the night is always at its darkest. The silence before the answer, the pressure before the release, the breaking before the blessing, all of these moments are part of the same divine pattern. Darkness is not denial, it's development. It's where your strength, your faith, and your vision are being prepared for the next level. Many people give up too soon. They turn back just before the breakthrough comes. They walk away from what they've been praying for because the process feels unbearable. But growth always costs something. You cannot reach new heights without first being stretched. The breaking you feel is not meant to destroy you, but to expand you. Like a seed breaking open before it sprouts, or a mother pushing through pain to bring forth life. Breakthrough is always born through discomfort. Every great story has a dark chapter. Joseph was thrown into a pit before he reached the palace. David faced a giant before he became a king. Even Jesus faced the cross before the resurrection. The darkness didn't define them. It revealed them. It was the testing ground for their purpose. And the same is true for you. The adversity you're facing right now is not proof that you've been forgotten. It's proof that something powerful is on the way. The pressure you feel is the sign that something inside you is about to break free. When you're in your darkest moment, it's easy to believe you've lost everything. But sometimes God allows everything to fall apart so he can rebuild it the right way. What you thought was breaking you is actually making room for what's next. The delay isn't denial, it's preparation. Breakthrough doesn't come to the one who has it all figured out. It comes to the one who refuses to stop moving, even when it hurts. So hold on a little longer. Keep praying, keep believing, keep pushing. Because just beyond this dark place lies the moment that will shift everything. You may not see it yet, but it's already in motion. What feels like your breakdown is setting the stage for your breakthrough. The night may be dark, but morning is coming. And when it comes, it will make sense why you had to walk through the night. So now, my friends, here's the truth I want you to carry with you today. Darkness is not the end, it's the beginning. Pain is not a prison, it's a passage. Faith is forged in uncertainty, movement breaks the grip of fear, and your breakthrough is waiting just beyond your darkest moment. Life will test you. Life will push you. Life will try to make you stop. But you were not made to stay stuck. You were made to rise, to push, to move forward when every part of you wants to quit. You may be walking through a valley that feels endless. You may not see the light yet, and the weight of the world may feel heavy on your shoulders. But hear me today, keep walking, keep believing, keep taking one step, then another, even if you're trembling, even if it hurts, even if you don't understand the path. Because every step forward is a step out of darkness. Every act of faith is a blow against fear. Every forward movement is proof that you refuse to let life's storms define you. And when you finally see the light, when your breakthrough comes, when the weight lifts and the road clears, you will look back and realize that every dark night, every tear, every moment of doubt was preparing you for something greater than you could have imagined. What tried to stop you only strengthened you. What tried to break you only made you whole. What tried to bury you actually planted you for a future filled with purpose, promise, and power. So I say to you today, don't wait for the darkness to disappear. Don't wait for life to make sense. Don't wait for fear to leave you alone. Move, step, press, keep going. Because the God who allowed the night will also bring the dawn. The same hand that placed you in the fire will lead you to victory. And the very moment that feels like the end of your story is often the moment that begins your greatest chapter. Keep moving forward because your life is not over. It's just getting started. And when you do, the world will see that even in the darkest night, a determined heart fueled by faith cannot be stopped. Keep going, keep trusting, keep believing. And watch how God turns your darkness into light, your pain into power, and your struggle into your strongest testimony.